Hello everyone, my name is Bobbie and my outfit's inafanana na my drink today. Today I'm here with Jagero and Lucy, and we're here to talk about something that has been eating us alive. Thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Heartfelt with Bobbie on Dialogues with Jagero. Mnajua mimi napenda topics za ngono na sex na kuingiza hizo vitu za relationship. So that's what we shall be focusing on today, but on a slightly different note. But before we get on to the conversation, thank you so much for joining us, Lucy, today.
Thank you for having me.
It's your birthday.
It's my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Happy birthday to me.
You were just telling us about, before hapo, Jagero, asante.
Thank you
For joining us. Why are you looking so timid and soft today?
No.
So loud.
I'm all right
You're just chilling.
Yeah.
So how have you been? I haven't seen you in like 2 weeks since
1 week. Bobbie, be truthful.
I feel like since our event.
It's 1.5 weeks since our event.
Yeah, we haven't seen each other, and it was 2 weeks ago.
We have not met since the event.
Yeah.
Is that true?
I think so.
Yeah.
So how have you been after
I went to the village. Immediately left the village. After our event. I went to the village to plant trees.
Wow.
On the plot that we want to build the digital library, the one that we were fundraising for.
Yes.
So we planted 200 trees.
Wow.
In the village.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
You're such a cool guy. You're always doing cool things.
Yeah, we planted 200 trees. We spoke with some other people down there, and I was organizing how we can drop some 2 lorries of motofali. Is that what you call it in Swahili?
What's matofali?
Matofali.
Bricks.
Red bricks.
Red bricks.
Okay.
Yeah, but majorly I went down there to for spiritual sort of what is it called?
Like a break?
Yeah, like a break.
An awake, like to just relax.
Yeah, to wake up to the sound of birds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said
and the sunlight.
There's a word for that. We shall get it.
Yeah, there is the in the village when I wake up there are so many birds.
Yeah.
I planted 3,000 trees in my home. 3,000 trees.
Wow.
Yeah. So there is a lot of birds there,
Yeah.
and they have put up nests. They make so much beautiful noise in the morning, and the sun rays. I was telling my wife that I would like to go and stay in the village for just a month.
Okay, it sounds like heaven.
Without coming back, just a month, without troubling myself, with Bobbie taking care of Dialogues with Jagero, with the Lee on top of his game, with everybody on top of their game. I'm not worrying about anything. I just wake up. When I go there, I get to talk to my cousins who were there in the village when I was growing up. We just talk over things, enjoy life, walk around in the village, chat, take tea in the evening. It is so amazing.
Life is simple.
Yeah. And when I was with my daughter there, and the mother remained in Nairobi because she's traveling today actually. She's going out of the country today. So it was amazing. It's always amazing. The moment I reach home, do a few things here and there, I just come back a different person, calm, collected.
Oh no, man, leo uko too chill.
Yeah.
Hauna mambo mingi.
But I actually have a very big hangover for home.
Yeah, you sound like.
Yeah, I do have in fact, the night I come back to Nairobi, the following day I feel terrible.
So it's the aftermath, you're recollecting.
Yeah.
Do you get that feeling? Okay, ile place inaitwa pali Great Wall inaanza. Do you start feeling the anxieties of Nairobi and like?
I used to feel that. In fact, there is a time I wrote a trending article about me getting back from the city, from the village to the city. It trended a lot on Facebook sometimes back. I think 4-6 years ago.
Yeah.
I wrote a story. Yeah. I like the city for what it gives me. It appears that this is the only place where money grows.
Where it's easier to make money.
Yeah.
Because the economy, things are happening.
Things are happening. You can find people who are looking for web design, looking for branding, looking for this.
Yeah.
But I think that think that the only route to being in the village or wherever you want in life is content creation and doing great things and having conversations.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about it when I was in the village that you can actually earn 100 Gs and you're just in the village.
Yeah, it's possible.
It's possible. Just waking up. Kama hizo stories zako za
sex. It just
sex.
depends with what people want.
Yeah. I have been telling her that she needs to start doing video for orgasm and whatever that she's doing.
I was about to tell her.
But she's so stubborn about it.
She's getting there.
I'm not. Jagero, we've had this conversation.
What have we had about it?
You know, our personalities are a bit different.
Yeah.
And I think it comes with not just experiences, but also, okay, let me say experience. When you have more experience, when you're the kind of person who's done more things, it's easier to do things. When you're someone you have to understand I'm someone who's coming from survival. Like I just arrived. Like I'm just getting here. I might have been writing for 10 years and yes, it's time to do new things and it's time to move and do new stuff. But I also think I pace myself because I'm a person who moves intuitively with my feelings.
Yeah.
I don't like to put myself in spaces where I'm not feeling yet because I'll stop or I'll give up.
That is true.
Or I'll get bored. But if it's something I'm feeling, you know, it's me, nimejipush, nikajiingisha.
But I just think that the only thing that you're missing in your podcast is your face. So though the things that you're saying, I don't really agree with them. Yeah. I feel like you are going to be a bigger person in terms of what you do when you start doing what you're doing in audio, in video form. And you don't have, it doesn't have to be DWJ, where every week you're supposed to like 4 or 5.
I think
just or 4 or 5. But I'm thinking just even 2 in a month will make a huge difference. So that you start building that visual self of yours.
I'll do it.
Yeah, but she can.
I'll do it.
Bobbie is full of surprises, so.
I'll do it.
Okay.
It's in my to-do list. Lucy, you when we started speaking, you talked about, you know, how you just feel like your birthday is just any normal thing.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I mean,
here we're on this table, we're big on loving each other and sharing experiences.
It's a normal day because I just woke up and kama kawaida, you take your breakfast, you see the people you love in the morning, and it's not a biggie, really. I'm used to celebrating kids so much so that perhaps I don't feel like it's really something, because I don't come from a place where people celebrate birthdays. No. So siwezi weka ati sasa that's the major thing for me. I think I appreciate the day to day because I've seen people I like, you know. I think that makes my day. Today is special because most of my birthdays are always so dull, actually. And this one I'm outside. I'm not always outside. Nakwanga kwa nyumba, literally cooking omena, you know, and perhaps writing in my journal because I love journaling, and maybe talking to God. Leo,
talking to God.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask about that. By the way, when you talk about you're coming from a place where people do not celebrate birthdays, I think she's a bit lost.
Me? Because I'm the opposite.
Do you know I do not celebrate my birthdays?
Oh really?
No, I do not celebrate my birthday.
You guys.
My wife abandoned it.
It's not so big.
What do you mean?
She abandoned it because she's like, I am not. It's the same day for me. I wake up, I do not feel anything about the birthday. She tells me happy birthday. I do not get excited. It's just like that. You know? It is for people. I don't know whether you were brought up in the village, but for me,
nimegrow kwa ghetto, but pia niko
ghetto ni kama village.
Bas, na pia nime experience pia life ya village.
Yeah.
So sioni kama ni lazima.
Like I started literally talking about my birthday after probably getting married.
Yeah.
That is when I started talking about my birthday. It is my wife that kept talking to me about my birthday. Because even Dims, you remember? We do not talk about birthdays. Like nobody. In fact, when I was in the village, I would never know.
It's so strange. The first time I was bought a cake, kanza ya birthday yangu, that would be like 8 years ago. It was so weird for me. I didn't know
And
how.
awkward. How
it
to
was
react.
so awkward. So my cousin alikuwa amepata salary yake hiyo siku. And she was so excited. Akaniambia, Lucy, leo nakubaia keki. Niko like, mimi, keki.
Yeah.
Ai, wallahi, leta hiyo keki. Ai, alinibaia keki. But do you know, I couldn't wait for the next day. Because I remember then, your story of survival. I was so hungry that cake is what was there to eat. And we were with my brother. So I remember my brother ametoka shughuli zake ananiambia, Lucy, kwani rada hii birthday yako imekauka? Namwambia niko na keki na siwezi ngoja kesho. Yeah. So I joined my brother.
You were bought a cake a day before.
A day before. That was a mistake. And my cousin tells me, Lucy, nitakuja usiku na kamna nyama choma. Mimi nitangoja. Yeah, na tuko na njaa because I'm living with my dad and my brothers. Yeah. Huko atu celebrating hizi vitu. It's a real ghetto. So around 10 p.m. nimengoja cousin yangu Linda is not showing up with the nyama choma.
Na ushakula keki.
Bado. Tunaipangia. Yeah. Because atujona story ya sapa hapo because tuko watu wakubwa mzaya ko like you people take care of yourselves, you're grown ups. Kila mtu apambane na hali. Kila mtu apambane na hali. So this cake nakwambia ilifika to 10:30. We were there launching the cake with my bro.
Si munge wait for 12 a.m.
Sangapi tunangoja na njaa.
The whole day. 2 more hours.
Tunangoja sangapi na njaa.
Yeah.
By 10:30 tukua tumekula keki watu wawili, keki ya 1 kg. Mimi sasa nilikuwa na suffer to sugar rush, but I was the happiest I'd ever been.
Yeah.
So the disappointment was when my cousin comes, she's like, where's the cake? 12. Ako like, Lucy, happy birthday. Alikuwa amelewa sana. Yeah, namsikia kwa gate, my dad had not come then. So she comes, Lucy, I'm here. Ako na nyama choma na kamnyweso. I niko like, wow.
12 in the night?
Yes.
Oh, he came with she came with the nyama
choma, but I could not wait.
She made a promise.
Yeah. And I was also overexcited because for the first time in my life, this is a cake.
Okay, let me ask you guys. What about like your school life? Yeah. I know this is not the main topic we're supposed to talk about, but I'm so intrigued.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so interesting to see like different walks of life.
Yeah.
In your school life, the schools that you guys went to, how were you guys reacting when weren't other kids celebrating as well?
In my school. So for example, I went to primary school, Nyalunya Primary School.
Yeah,
Nyalunya Primary School. Your mother doesn't know about your birthday. The teachers do not care because they probably also don't, celebrate their birthdays. When I went to Olembo Boys, I was a day scholar, and I think that when I was in boarding school, when I was in high school, that was not a worry at all. My biggest worry was school fees.
Yeah.
Survival.
My worry was how to wake up early at 5 a.m. and walk 10 kilometers to school and come back 10 kilometers. So like I would start having my anxieties at around 3 because I know in about an hour, I have to start walking all the way home. So, there are no cakes in the village. There are no parties in the village. There is nothing. Bread is the equivalent of a cake in the village. Correct?
Yes.
Yes. So there is nothing. When I came to college in Nairobi, it was pretty just as bad. So there was no like celebrating birthdays. So in fact, I forgot something. Most of the birthdays would be on Facebook.
Yeah.
Because Facebook used to tell all your friends.
It was Facebook. Actually.
So I wake up and I'm like, 1,000 people have said happy birthday. Yeah. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Me too.
I don't understand what you guys are excited about.
Yeah.
Because probably I woke up until I wrote until wee hours of the night, then slept, woke up at 12, and then you have got I wouldn't even reply to any of them. Yeah.
Okay, that's really interesting.
Me, I went to a boarding school. Lakini hata huko, mi sikukwanga na rada ya hizo vitu because I was always in my world. So I would see people do their things.
Because the girls love to celebrate each other. Mnaandika letters.
Boarding school.
Unampea mkate yako.
Primary school. Jumi nilisoma boarding school ya Shags. It wasn't anything. Hata sikukwanga nasikia watu wana celebrate birthdays.
Did you guys have electricity in that boarding school?
We used to. But
the fact that that's a question.
it wasn't a thing.
even.
So when I went to high school,
In my high school, there was no
when I went to
electricity.
high school, Butere girls,
So mnalala 6
There were
p.m.
pressure lamps.
Okay.
when I went to high school, Butere girls, now I could see girls celebrate each other, but Lucy always in her world. It never occurred to me that that was something. Mi kwanga nangoja siku za entertainment, ni dance. Sunday, ni kule hiyo mchele ya beans. Hizo ndo vitu zikwanga zinani excite shule. Birthday, no. Sasa kutoka nje sasa ndo Facebook ilitokezea. Hapo ndo sasa tulikuwa aware, and then you start seeing the world, you see people are celebrating. Ukikuja huku kwa estate, watoto wamecelebratiwa birthday. Hey, unaona mama akona stress. A kid is just a year old, does not know shit. The mother anakazana ana
even my daughter's birthday, I really get pushed about it.
Yeah.
For me to just hold that birthday.
I think it is good to appreciate life that we are here right now, but I don't think that it's something that should make you go crazy.
Okay, my last question about this. In tie with, you being pushed about your daughter's birthday. So do you guys want to change, or are you comfortable with the way you are? Do you think you'd like to be celebrated more and to celebrate others as well? Or are you just fine? And when we're nearing your birthday, do you get any anxieties, or is it
Nothing.
just nothing for real happening?
It is flat.
What's that?
It's like the graph is flat.
What?
Okay, I can get it. I can get
The
it.
graph is. I think that when you grow up without something for your formative years, especially year 1 to 20, it is very difficult to get those things in your system.
You learn to do without it.
It is very difficult, and you mostly see those things as a bother.
Yeah.
Like
You-
it will require
like
Extras for
like if I got like my wife is not a biggie on birthdays. She loves birthdays, but she's not into it like that.
Birthday
Like she's not like that.
major.
But I can imagine getting somebody that would be very big on birthday.
What about your daughter? How is she about birthdays?
She's very crazy about birthdays.
So how are you two coping with now a kid who's big into this?
The mother holds. They agree with the mother on at that level. They agree with the mother because the mother grew up in town. She knows about all birthdays and how it is important to her. It was important to her as a kid, and now she understands how it is. So most of the burden of the birthday is usually carried by. Are
you seeing where this conversation is taking us?
Yes. It's about being very honest about these things. Yeah.
Sure.
So she will carry the burden, and I remember the last birthday we were in the village. Because we are always in the village until January around 10th, before we come to Nairobi from the holidays. So you can imagine we went to Kisumu to celebrate the birthday. It was a lot. Yeah, we drove to Kisumu to have the cake at Java and to sing, and we had to carry a few kids from the village to go and celebrate with Maya in town. You can imagine how it sounds crazy to me. Why do we have to do that? But you see now, I think part of life. I think when you are growing up as a person and you are in a community of people and you are in a society, you need to read the room and know what the room wants. So for me, I don't think it is fair for me to keep telling people that your birthday is hogwash. It's insignificant. Don't do it. Don't push me about it, because it's the way they have. And I think that a birthday is a very important thing. The day you were born, it's like you're alive and you are celebrating your death.
For me, my birthday is the best day of my life.
Oh, really?
Wow. Oh, I think about it. First, I was born on February 29th, which is a leap day. Yeah. So it's already a big deal to me.
Sometimes it doesn't appear on the calendar.
It's rare.
So and then also the culture I'm in, I grew up in a home where even my grandparents, if I can remember, all the holidays were really celebrated. I'm talking down to decorations, like tukitoa decorations za Christmas tuneka za Easter, tukitoa za every birthday they used to go all out, like decorate with balloons and everything. So your tradition has kind of been passed down. My parents are like that. I think I'm the same way. It's just that pesa haiko venye ilikuanga maybe that time. But now I try in my little ways, even if it's just a slice of cake or inviting my friends over for lunch in the house. It doesn't have to be really big, but it's something I take very seriously. Actually, I even cut people off if they don't recognize my birthday.
You're that serious?
Very, because just like Jagero, you said, you read the room. If you see something is important to someone, you don't go out of your way to make sure you don't acknowledge it. I mean, I understand.
Yeah.
Like you gift me occasionally. Yeah. So I'm not going to sit here and say Jagero didn't gift me for my birthday. Bro, he gives me the rest of the year, so it's fine. But even just you telling me, happy birthday, it goes a long way. I'll remember, and even me, if you don't wish me, I won't wish you. That's how I am. Guys, I want us to go back to our topic, but I do take birthdays really seriously, actually. So the topic for today is about how, being a woman, especially, Jagero is just here as a control.
But being
he's
listening.
Being a woman, especially in the entertainment industry, I'm sure this goes across board in all other industries, but I'd like to speak about the industry that we're in, which is entertainment, being in film production, Jagero as well, especially. We were just, before we started this conversation outside, we were talking about how, why we stopped doing this or why we didn't do this. And I was telling Jagero about how I know Lucy, and how we know each other is from a set of a music video that we did about 8 years ago.
8 years.
And that's where we met. I've talked about that story on this podcast before, which was, it was an African, what's it called? It was a music video by this guy who had said he wants African women to come and represent African women from all over the world in this music video. And we were picked because we look like African women.
Sure.
We have black skin, we have
ragged,
we have, with nice hard hair. So, and I don't say that derogatorily. I love myself and the way I look. And during that time, I truly, really wanted to be a model or a singer. So I felt like my career was going to end up in front of screens. I just didn't know how, but those were my talents. So when we met on this music set, someone treated me really badly, and we were just bonding over it. Nika realized this guy treated everybody badly. It wasn't just me, but we took the conversation further into why we stopped doing what we were doing and why we transitioned into whatever we're doing now. So part of this conversation came in where Lucy and I were talking about how it's really difficult to be a woman, especially in the industry, in the entertainment industry, because I can attest, every single man, you can correct me if I'm wrong and you're a man I've worked with, of course, except Jagero, but every single man who has come up to me with, let's do business together, let's shoot this together, let's work on something together, eventually it becomes like, I have to exchange sex for a spot or sex for... It's never really implied because they don't always come directly and say, hey Lucy, I want to sleep with you so that I can give you the role on this show. It's never like that.
They disguise it.
They disguise. So I want us to talk a little bit about, that. So when was the first time you were ever in a situation where, first of all, have you ever been in a situation?
I think all my life as a woman, so many situations have you questioning your gifts, your talents, the spaces that you get into. And we always ask ourselves, who are these people that we associate with, I think we call them the gatekeepers.
I've had that word going around.
I call them the gatekeepers because I am the gatekeeper. Because I am the gatekeeper, you cannot go through. Before you go through, you must get a pass.
Kitu kidogo.
You must get a pass. So it's either niyo kitu kidogo, ama I have my way with you, and then you can have your pass. I hold the key to your dreams. That is the tag. It is a disguise. They will not come to you directly. Oh, I think you look good. You're looking good, and I want to sleep with you. It will be let's work together. You have an idea. You pitch the idea, you know. You start following through the idea. You warm up to each other. As a lady, you know, you're vulnerable. You get carried away. And then kuna mahali tu lazima utashikwa. Sasa juu tumefika hapa ndo tusonge hiyo stage next.
Unajua niko na spot tu
niko na tu spot
na ni between wewe na Bobbie.
Na madem ni wengi. Madem ni wengi. Yeah? Before they'll start discriminating your color, light skin, dark skin, your size, gonna haga ama unahaga. Unajua. But at the end of it all, I'm gonna say something nasty. Boro kona shimo. Kaende. So it just depends with you, whatever you want and what your agenda was when you're pitching your idea and what they are going to respond. Yeah. So, nanga hapa kwa industry gatekeepers ni wengi, you know, and their mouths are so sweet. But as ladies or women, we are so naive, you know. We get carried away so easily. Because
do you think a lot of women fall for that?
No.
Really?
There are people who fall for that. There are people who are coerced into that.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
It makes sense, yeah? Yeah. So sometimes you wanted it so bad and you thought that perhaps that's the only way.
You know, you're to a block because you know you've been trying and now you're so close.
Yeah, you're so close and you really want to get through with this thing. You're like, God, is this the only shot that I have? Will it be held against me that I went through with this thing and I gave it up to this guy? After which you give it up and then it's crickets in the background, you know? So you wonder, truly, who are we working with? Who are these people, you know? Why are we here? With those tags. So if they're the gatekeepers, who is going to show us the way? Who are we going to work with? That's the question I keep asking. Because tangu nianze kuhustle zile enzi za KNT, I remember after high school, luko 2013 huko. So nikiingia ku Kenya National Theatre. Even my first time just trying to go to audition. Mafisi wako hadi wenye wana audition. Wenye tayari walishapatanga ka chance anaona.
Na kawe si light skin hata usikam.
Hata usikam.
Wait, let's hold that thought there for a sec. Jagero, I want to ask you. I've seen conversations about men as well. Men complaining about how for them to get roles on TV, for shows, for them to even get into spaces where kuna talents zingine zenye unaweza jifanyia kama kuimba, unaweza tuanza kuimba. Lakini
weke kwa YouTube.
TikTok.
Podcast yako unaweza jianzishia. You don't need anyone telling you. Ati, you can't post this, you can't go here, you know? So, as a man, I've seen men complain. As a man, is this something you've experienced, you know, firsthand? Someone telling you, for me to give you this space, because you're in the art space, for me to give you a chance to do this, for me to invite you here, you nipe pesa ama nipe matako. Have you had this?
I didn't hear that, but well.
Have you seen this happening, or has it happened to you?
I think it has not happened to me like somebody asking me for us. Yeah, most of them men are not gay in the industry. Could be, but they, you know, it's very difficult for a man to approach another man, and I feel like. Without making this conversation about women, there is a level of respect between men.
Yeah, that is true.
I agree.
Yeah, you know, and even a gay man would find it very difficult to, you know, to talk to a gay man to another man in a particular way, or asking favors from them. So I think that we are very shielded in that way, that nobody will. Most of the time, what I've realized in the art industry is most characters are women characters. You understand?
Yeah.
Most of the available.
Yeah, most of are for ladies. You'll find most, because even if you look at a household, mbocha takuwa mwanamke, then the wife nini, and so mostly it is that. I think for men it's different. men, it just goes back to friendship. So if I'm a friend of Ali, I will look for Ali to do the role. If I'm a friend of Peter, I'll look for Peter to do the role. Because also, I can't ask Peter that I don't know for money because he's broke already. He's a struggling artist. So he won't even give me the money. So I will just forget about him.
No, you know what they do?
Yeah.
They your friendship, yes, they go and negotiate for you even your pay. They already know.
Yes.
Wewe kwa kitu utalipa 10,000 per episode.
Yeah, exactly.
But anakushow utanikanja 50%.
Exactly. So the kickback.
Yeah.
The kickback is there, especially for the Netflix kind of.
Really?
Yeah. There's a lot of kickbacking.
Wow.
Wait, is this a universal experience or is it just happening to us here?
Yeah.
No. I'm talking about of movies that go probably to Netflix, a Kenyan movie. Yeah, there is a lot of that. And I have even had a problem with the guys that are doing films in Kenya. First of all, because of the low quality of films that we are having in Kenya, because of kujuana, like putting a Lee who is a producer to act. Because kuna pesa and he has got 2-3 Lees na wote ni directors, so hawezi kuwa directors. Wewe lazima uta act tu ndo upate pesa. Go and learn on the job. I remember somebody was telling me that there is a time he went through his scripts in the lift while going into location. On the lift. He was reading it as he's going to the production location. In an apartment, and he was busy doing his script in the lift because he had not been told. He knew about it that morning. When there's millions of amazing actors that and so that is what I have seen in the industry, and men being told to give kickback and things like that. But also about, because a lot of people, and this is a question I wanted to ask you guys. A lot of people, as men looking at it, do not see the men mostly. Yeah. We see women who are sleeping around. That's all we see.
Yeah. True.
And so when Lucy is saying that sometimes, like for example, you're a single mother who is in the industry. Yeah. And you have been asked to come for this audition. Yeah. And then somebody's telling you that I'm whatever language they are using, and I want to really understand the language, the specific language they're using to sleep with the women. Like, I can imagine being told that your child is going to sleep hungry, and you're a single mother, not an old single mother. You're 27 and you've got a kid back in the house. Na ni wewe you're the toi ni wewe, rent ni wewe, steam token ni wewe, kila kitu ni wewe, and then a man is telling you that let's do this together and you get this role. Yeah. And this role is maybe 30 Gs and you're going to be there for only a week acting. And I'm like, it's such a difficult situation for the woman. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and she might say, okay, I'm watching this movie called, this series called, the one that is trending, that we talked about. The Handmaid's Tale. The Handmaid's Tale. Yeah. And I disagree with a lot of things going on in that movie, but one of the things you can see clearly is what a woman can do for her child.
How far she can go.
Yeah. You see? There is a very interesting scene where there is this guy, Commander Lawrence, I think. Yeah. There is a guy called Commander Lawrence. The other commanders have come to witness if she's going to be raped. Well, they don't say rape. Yeah. They say the ceremony, whereby you sleep with another woman that's not your wife so that they can give you a child as a family. Because for whatever reason, the wife cannot give birth. And so this commander is like, I do not want to sleep with these young women anymore. I don't like it, you know. And then when they go into the upper room and the wife, you know what they do? The wife anakaa kwa bed, then the lady who is supposed to be raped or to be done the ceremony on lies there, and then she's fucked when the wife is watching. Okay?
Does he enjoy?
I don't know what is going on. You are supposed to be pinned down. Out of spite. You are supposed to be pinned down, or there is a way you're supposed
to. Like how the Mormons fight.
Yeah. I think I watched that in Spartacus.
The Mormons.
The Mormons. Yeah. I can't remember. I think it's them.
If you watch Spartacus.
When you.
I've stayed away from Spartacus because of.
Yeah, that is there.
Yeah.
When you there's something, I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
Where, first of all, no sex before marriage. And then after you get married, you're not supposed sex is not for enjoyment, it's for
reproduction.
procreation.
Exactly. That's exactly.
So now, the girl is just supposed to lay like this.
Yeah.
And then the man gets on top.
Yeah.
And then even he's not supposed to move. He just sits like this. And then there's a third person in the room who pushes him. Yes. Now, who pushes it? Like
what do you mean pushes him?
Yes. Like on his back.
Pushes who?
Unaelewa? Dem amelala flat.
Okay.
Chali anampandia. Alafu mbaba mwingine anakuja hapa nyuma ya chali anamsukuma.
Kwani he doesn't know how to fuck
No, because you're not supposed to enjoy. You're not supposed to do anything to one. So I forget what
that's hella weird. But anyway, these ones are enjoying.
Yeah.
Even one had a heart attack and died. So, but when they went up the stairs, up the room, the handmaid said that you have to fuck me because you're going to lose this house, you're going to end up on the wall. So they kill you if you don't do it. So the lady is saying that we have to do it. And then the commander is saying, let's just stay here and
act like we
did it. Yeah. And the handmaid is saying, no, you do not know what happens after this has happened. They take us to a room and check if there is cum inside of us. Yeah. So first of all, if they ask me if we did it, and I say yes, because you want me, that's what I'm going to do, and then they check me and they realize that I'm lying, then I am also on the wall. Yeah. So we have to do it. I hope that you are enjoying that episode, people of the internet. You know, everybody says there is no job, and that is true. Also, that was me 10 years ago. The problem is that everybody is trying to get a job in their own town, in their own city, in their marketplace. They ask friends for jobs, mothers call uncles, uncles call fathers, but there are no jobs, right? Let me tell you what no one is telling you. Jobs migrated online. What I actually mean is there are many, many jobs around the world and there is no one to do them. I have worked for a long time online, I think more than 10 years. I work for Americans, I work for Europeans, I work for the Chinese, the Australian, Canadians, the Ugandans, name all of them. And last year, I had a eureka moment. I said to myself, you know what? I should compile what I have been doing for the last 15 years. So in 2024, I wrote a book called Gold Mine, 18 Side Hustles for Africans. And it sold a lot of copies. In fact, sometimes I was receiving 500 orders in a day. In 2025, something happened. AI came. I think in 2025, AI came. AI came in 2024, but in 2025, it is here with us. And people say AI is taking away their jobs. And for me, I'll say false. There are actually AI jobs. Na mimi ni nani? I created more jobs. We now have in my book 25 online and offline side hustles that you can do anywhere in the world, whether you are in the village, whether you are in your small town, whether you're in a marketplace, whether you are in your house, you can do them. In this powerful volume 2, I share 25 new actionable online hustles specifically researched and tailored for Africans. My new book provides clear step-by-step guidance, drawing from my extensive experience and research, including the mistakes I have made and lessons I have learned over 15 years in this online job market. You can become an executive assistant to busy folks in Europe, America, and Canada. You can also get paid for tasks like watching videos and taking online surveys. There are many of them and they're in my book. You can also build a business as a virtual assistant, start an e-commerce without a shilling. You can also become an affiliate marketer or an online English tutor. And you can also do tens of AI jobs, and they're all in these books. If you have a job, that is fine, but I know around you there are so many people that are always looking for jobs and at home watching Netflix. Buy this book for your brother, for your sister, for your mother, cousin, husband, who is back at home all day, all night watching Netflix. Okay? Buy it for your friend, that friend who is always asking you for cash, you can buy this book for them. All the information is in the description below. You can also inbox me, you can WhatsApp me, or you can go to my website, which is oduorjagero.co.ke. The book is only 1,000 Kenya shillings. Or if you're anywhere around the world, the book is $10. So thank you very much. Back to programming. So they had the ceremony up there, you know, and so this is what I think is happening to women when they are faced with this, like 30 G's and sleep with a man.
Yeah.
Especially if you're desperate, it just becomes, it's just sex.
Yeah.
It's just something I'll do for a bit and I'll never have to talk to him again. And to answer your question, sometimes this, coercion is not always violent. This coercion can present as romance. I'm telling you, even the men, Kwani, how did that politician call me? These men, they take their time.
Yeah.
He will study you. He knows what you want. He knows what you like. He knows what you enjoy. And even if you're naive, na mshamba, maybe ujui vitu mingi, unajua utashtuliwa na 2,000 shillings. If you're a girl who's never been to Java and you're taken to Java, you start seeing where
nimefika.
But if you go to Java all the time, it's like hell no, I'm not even going there.
Kawaida.
So you see, they present it as romance. They katia you. He's not going to tell you
the bank on
Lucy,
your inexperience.
Yes, he's not going to tell you, Lucy, I have a role for you, but for you to get it, sleep with me, then I'll put your name on there, whatever. He's not gonna do that. Atakuona tu we ni ka nice naive girl, ujui vitu mingi, alafu anaanza kukukatia.
Yeah.
Anakukatia, anakupeleka out.
And both of you know what is at stake.
No. You see, I was even saying this thing.
But she knows that this man that is trying to katia me holds the cards.
Wait, let me explain.
Okay.
There's a difference.
Okay.
You see, even as a woman, right now, if a man invites me to his house, even as right now the way I am, I have dealt with many men, not just like relationship-wise, even here.
Yeah.
I know men, and the general notion is that if a man invites you to his house, you have to put out.
Lazima.
That's the general notion. But for people like me who get treated respectfully by men, the men, especially I'm around right now, they don't disrespect me like that.
Here.
So it's not normal for me that if I come to your house, I'll sleep with you. Hiyo ni kitu mimi nasikianga, naonanga Facebook, ama naonanga watu wengine wakisema, mimi si kitu inanifanyikia. But I cannot be negligent or fail to acknowledge that it happens to other people and it's true and it's real. So bring it back to this conversation. When he's being coercive, you're not necessarily thinking he's sleeping with me to give me a role, because that's not how it presents itself. Even as that young single mom, chali anakukatia na ni mdosi kwa set. Wewe uioni ni kama ati ananikatia ndo anipe role. Jua umekuja genuinely, you want to get this. I feel like if they were honest, it would even be a bit much better, because now you've consented. You're like, 30K to take care of my kids and all I have to do is fuck you. Fine. But they lie. They pretend. Either they go that way of the romance and, coercing you, kukukatia. By the way, atakuwa hata boyfriend yako. Hata kila mtu set atajuanga. Lucy ni demia Jagero, wanakujanga pamoja, wanakuanga lunch pamoja. So it's not something he's going to... not necessarily at hide you or make you feel like you're a sneaky link or whatever. But the thing is, this is who he is. This is what he does with all women who he likes or he wants to sleep with. And if another girl is brought on set, same. Akisha kudinya tu wewe. Ni hivyo, hana haja yako, hajali kama utakuja set anymore. Juye, point yake, haikukuwa ugeti role. Point yake ilikuwa, aone how far he can get with you. The other one is the blackmail, where they'll tell you outright. They'll tell you, i-roll cheki mko watu wengi, lakini mimi nakulike wewe. Na nataka wewe ndio upate hii space. So, and then he starts touching you. You could just be chilling, you're talking, and he starts touching you. He starts, sa unasemaje. Now, there you can kind of tell where this is going, because you kind of see the context. Now you start feeling hizo feelings that if I don't do it, my kid will sleep hungry, my mom is sick, I need medicine, and then people say, these women are sleeping their way to the top. First of all, there would be more women at the top.
Yeah,
If we really were sleeping our way to the top. There would be, ama gatekeeper wangekuwa madem.
Kabisa.
Haingekuwa maboy. Hiyo ni number 1. Number 2 is that nobody says men are exploiting women for roles.
Yeah.
Nobody saying.
That's not how the conversation is had.
Okay.
When we sit, we don't say, there's so many men who are exploiting women. We sit and say, oh, dem alilala na huyo producer ndo apate hiyo role. Think about it. Think about it. Anytime you hear that conversation, hata ukiona kadem karembo kwa TV, amepata, unashanga, Roberta ako Citizen, ako sijui
everywhere,
ako sijui wapi. Hizi roles zote kuna mtu anamdinya kwa hiyo.
Yeah.
And I won't Miss Jelala na mtu for a role. I'm not saying it's something I haven't actually, but I have been in position. Like the only reason I haven't is because I come from privilege. I'm so sure if I was privilege.
Or privilege, okay.
I'm so sure if I was desperate. Mtu angenikamata. Kuna mtu angeniingiza box. But mimi nafikira, mimi kwetu kuna food. Mimi niko sawa. I'm not lacking, so I don't really need to. But those are kind of the ways. Maybe Lucy, you could tell us a bit more about that and, being in that space.
Yeah.
And just how it goes down and how it makes someone feel, and maybe how to be able to tell this is what this drama wants. This is how it starts. And
actually, there's no cutting corners. There's no cutting corners with these people. Sometimes you know. Sometimes you know.
Do you think you know when you grow older and you're able to tell when you're less naive? Ama you just...
Yeah. Now, let's talk about that. When I was younger, truly, I must admit I was very naive. I was very naive. But then I didn't get to a point that now I would sleep with someone because of that role. But those instances, those situations, present mingi sana. I would have been sold to that.
How many jobs have you lost by refusing?
So many. So many. You see me on set today after so many years behind the camera. But it was so weird for me back then because there was always a tag. There was always something to present so that you get another thing in return. There was always a blackmail. Someone presenting as if, let me hold your hand, Bobbie. I am going to show you the way. But then you never get there, Then I was so naive. I would be sold so easily. Naeza sema, kama nini naeza kuwa nilisha nini. But sikupatanga hizo roles juu sikupanua mguu. Ilibidi nirudi nyumbani. I hustle like everybody else because you want to break into the industry, but these gatekeepers are all over. So growing up, now I was learning how to relate with people, how to converse, emotional intelligence. Suddenly you're realizing, there's just how we should be relating, There's some extents. There's an extent that I could reach while relating with someone, and I get to know their agenda. Kabla isonge mbali.
Oh, now you can see, you can tell.
Yeah, kabla isonge mbali. You just go straight to the point. This is who I am. This is what I have. Let me table this thing to Mr. Jagero. Is he on board? Does he like the idea? If he does not like the idea, well and good, it's not the end of the world. So you also have to make peace with certain situations. Si lazima uambiwe yes.
So what is it that made you be able to say, wacha niende home? Because that's not what happens to most women.
Nilianza kugundua mimi ni mjanja na kuna vitu zenye the world was already opening up, and I started seeing people doing their stuff, and I realized perhaps if I set out to do these things on my own, if I expressed, I still have a platform. Kuna Instagram, kuna TikTok, kuna Facebook. Though I want to be so big out here, but I can always start somewhere. Why do I despise a small beginning? Why do I despise a small role? Is the world close to me because I'm not expressing through the platforms that have already been given to me? Though I want to associate so much, with these people,
with the big people.
When you wako hapo tayari, because it's so nice associating with people who are experienced in that field more than you. Sometimes you can't act as if you know everything. So those impressionable days, I would be sold. I know I would have been sold. But something would always just, God would always just expose someone before it got so far. Yeah, it got so far. But at a point in time, I was sold to a boyfriend, but we didn't get anywhere.
Tell me about that. Tell me
We
about
didn't
that.
get anywhere. There nayo nilishika feelings vizuri sana. Kaende yenyewe kalienda.
You guys were in production together?
We were in production. Yeah.
Paint a setting, like what the setting was like, and if you're comfortable with that.
I don't want to give
Okay, sawa,
details
it's fine.
za sana, but I love hosting shows just like this. I love podcasts kabisa. So your idea, it didn't see the light of day. Kwa sababu tuliharibu maneno kabla to execute
The plans.
Alafu akahepa na idea, sijui kama aliadapt into a different thing or gave it to someone who was the supposed girlfriend now, who was equally in this production house. So I don't know how it ended up because I was too angry to follow through and I was so ashamed. But then it was a wake-up call for me. So then I would call myself to these meetings. Lucy, can't you just do it? You can do it. You can still do it alone, you know. Bana, suende pale TikTok. Bonga tu. Siwase bado watasikia. Lakini niko like, hapana. TikTok ina bo. Inataka nikuwe penye wase wako wamechangamka venye Roberta na Jagero, you know. I used to get excited by that. That was after Sideshow, by the way. That was after Sideshow. It was a stint after Sideshow. I was like, kwani I've not learned my lessons.
So this guy tried to sleep with you so that you guys can work together?
Yeah, so that we can work together. Cause mi naona, niko tu na simu. Sina vitu za production. Yeah, akona cameras, akona everything, you know. I also like the guy. I'm like, can I even get my person here too, you know?
And how did he approach you? Was it outright?
It was
like he was trying to sleep with you?
We started as friends. Kubonga tu. Kwanza tulianza na photoshoot. Lucy, sinkupige picha, unapenda picha sana.
The days we were models.
The days we were models. Yeah. So si unapigwa picha,
alihaya photographer ama yeye ndo photographer?
He's got everything. He's got everything. He's got a full production house like what we are seeing here. Yeah? Lucy wants to be a part of a production. But I only have my phone. He is a sweet guy. Yeah? Tuna roll venye Bobbie anasema ka lunch. Kaende. That is where I lost it. Yeah, that is where I lost it. Because after that, now it was clear. Even the ideas that I had pitched that were something were no longer something.
Yeah, because I feel like it kills your dreams.
Yeah,
because how I feel about walking out of such situations, the reason I decided to not be a singer or a model anymore, first of all, part uli mention in the beginning, for you to even be considered, first of all, colorism is crazy in Kenya. So hata ndo tukuangalie.
What do you mean colorism is crazy in Kenya?
Colorism in that these people want a woman who looks a certain way. I don't know, especially you guys, since maybe you've done more auditions than I ever have. Kwa hizo requirements, wanaandikanga light skin girl,
Akai pointy,
ama long hair, long silky hair, you know, something that is not
like
long silky hair is there is in Kenya.
Kama ya pointy.
Something sasa ni kukutoa kwa sababu mimi naweza kuwa na long silky hair, really?
Yeah.
I'm an African girl with black hair. I mean, maybe
we are rugged.
Exactly.
We are so rugged.
First of all, kuna kama hauna hata your skin, hata you're not considered. Na ikienda sana,
is that the reason why a lot of your movies and ninis in Kenya are full of light skin?
Yes. Just pay attention to any girl who's on TV. They look a certain way.
And they sound a certain way.
And you can count. On radio, they pick you if you have an accent.
Yeah.
No, but what that talking about the Kenyan radio, this accent is from where? Because it is not American, it is not South African, it is not Ghanaian, but it's there. Like Kiss 100, you feel like everybody that is going there is a twin.
Kila mtu alienda maju. Na akarudi.
On all Kenyan radio stations, all the women, all the girls, they have a certain way they talk.
Yeah.
They have that accent. Sijui accent. I'm gonna tell you about today where we're gonna go.
Yeah, but it's a fake accent because
Very fake.
you got to have an accent from somewhere. When you have an accent, you are a Luo and you sound like Jagero.
Yes.
Yeah, you are English, but
Yes.
you sound like you are from Liverpool.
I can't say if it's
So-
fake. Maybe they learned it in school.
Yeah.
No,
Because
which
people
school?
People can pick
Which
accents.
school?
When you hang around
People
each
can-
other,
yeah,
you can
people can
talk
pick
like
accents.
that.
Which school? So there is which school? there is a lady that. But
When you go to YouTube, you can learn the British accent. You can learn the British accent. Ukienda YouTube unaweza pata.
yes, but it's not British.
Yeah, it is not.
It's American. You're claiming that it's American, but it's not American.
Yeah.
You are claiming that it's French, but it's not French.
Yeah.
So what accent is it? It's a
Maybe
fake
it's
accent. It is your
Nairobian.
own creation.
Ile ya Nairobi to
There is actually an accent for Nairobi
There is.
ladies that are on TV. They speak the same.
Yeah.
It's a weird accent.
Even radio.
Yeah, and I don't know where it's coming from. So there is this lady that called me the other day, and we spoke for about 30, 40 minutes. And finally I was like, you have an accent. Where does it come from?
Yeah.
And she basically just told me where she landed. I landed from radio.
So she listens a lot.
Yeah, and picked up the accent from radio. So
Even Lupita shared on her Instagram the other day.
Lupita.
She had to learn some accent to suit a role. Lupita.
a Kenyan role.
No, a role huko kuna accent flani, hiyo Kiingereza yao kuna venye nafaa kusound. She had to learn.
Yeah, but you see now that is I think that's different.
That's different.
I think different. That's because now somebody is
That's for a
trying
job,
because
for a job.
now you're trying to be a Texan.
You identify as
You know, now you're a Texan talking like somebody from from Texas.
Yeah.
But this one Miss Juangi ni gani yenye wana
Anaishi kia Michael. Lakini akona I'm gonna get there.
Yeah.
And by the way,
Actually, I've listened to Kiss 100 and Classic, and these people, even the men.
Yes.
There's a guy who is called Dr. Love that speaks like.
Dr. Love ni mzungu wewe.
Yeah, ako tu sawa.
Just leave him
No,
alone.
he's not Mzungu.
He is. The original Dr. Love.
No,
Dr.
there's
Love.
another one.
Ni Mkenya.
Yes, there's another one.
Mwingine anajiita
Yeah.
Dr. Love. That's so
Ni
wrong.
Kenya.
Ni kama mtu
Why is it
mwingine-
so wrong?
Because Dr. Love, like if you went anywhere and said, do you know Dr. Love?
It's just one.
There's one Dr.
Ule wa
Love.
kitambo umekuwa tunajua.
Yeah, and he's a white guy.
No,
And he's
this
a-
one
he's
is
a white guy.
This
No,
one,
this
this
I
one,
know the one
this,
Noah is talking about.
Yeah.
So,
He's a very weird guy, by the way. The way he talks to women is so weird.
Yeah.
Then how is he a Dr. Love then? Then why does he call himself that? That's so wrong.
I don't know. I just listened because my Nini could not connect to my. And so I was stuck with radio and was listening to this weird conversation with random women from the village calling him in and making him look like a king
Oh
and
my
asking
God.
them really weird questions.
So kuna hiyo accent ya watu wa radio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alafu TV, they even go ahead and say things like, have you ever seen a fat girl on TV? Have you ever, you just think about it.
I saw one on KTN. She wasn't fat, but she was plus
She was
size.
plus
I'm
size.
talking-
You remember her?
Plump. She was.
Yeah, but most of them are skinny.
That is true.
Let me tell you, to
That
be
is true.
honest,
Say
to be
that they're
honest,
skinny or they're curvy.
let me tell you, when from that show, from that thing we did together, and I
Yeah.
was told I'm ugly,
Yeah.
and then I decided I'll never be a model again.
Yeah. Sasa
You know, in my head, you know, and
But I think though that person just hated you.
Aula
But
alikuwa
did
It wasn't just
you
me,
really
but
did you really look ugly? Did he really think that?
ungetuona.
But-
enyewe tulikuwa tunakaa vizuri. I remember.
Because
he had
if she has grown older and she's still
She's
beautiful,
pretty. Yeah,
so
she's very beautiful.
so this man
we
will
were
just
just dark skin. That's all. We
were.
weren't ugly.
Na kulikuwa na ma light
Yeah.
skin pale.
So they were okay. After that,
Wasichana walikuwa wengi.
after that ordeal, yeah,
nikwambia uende uchukue
yeye
flag ya
peke
Sudan.
Nakwambia hata tukichorewa hizo manini the tribal whatever, they were tribal marks.
Yeah, with paint.
And they make and paint and makeup and stuff. You just see the way the person is handling you. You're like, dude.
Yeah, they were treating the light-skinned girls like they're my
Eh.
nannies. Even let me tell you this thing.
Do you guys, before you say anything,
Yeah.
do you get jealous of light-skinned women?
Really? Why?
let me tell you, it is light-skinned women who taught me to love myself.
Yes.
So I
respect them and I love them more than it. Let me tell you, when I was going through, okay, before I say this story, when we finished this shoot, and then I decided I'll never be a model again, iliningia kwa kichwa nika decide I won't attach myself to the things that make me feel ugly. So I dropped my name. I told you about this. I changed my name. I decided I don't want to look like this girl who's never been going to be given chances. That's why everything I do intentionally is intentional.
It must be intentional.
You think I look the way I look because of chance? I look the way I look because I know for me to be on TV, I have to look a certain way. So it's intentional. Staying skinny, eating right, working out, looking beautiful, looking. If you don't do it, you will not get a chance. It's very. And it's so fucked up.
You sold your heart to the devil.
No, let me put it like this.
Okay.
I made those changes when I was way younger, and I was trying to get in. Now that I'm in, honestly, I don't give a fuck. I don't care if I'm chosen or not. But I made those decisions for somebody who needed to at that time. Right now, I will not change myself to. This is me. This is who I really am. I'm not faking it to be on TV. But I'm just saying, right now, if I was in such a position, I wouldn't repeat that. Now to answer your question. Wait, what had you asked?
I've asked whether you feel jealous of light-skinned women.
When I was younger and going through, self-esteem issues, and I was still trying to figure out who I am, doing what I was doing, my friends were beautiful. All my female friends were beautiful.
Were they beautiful or they were light-skinned?
Light-skinned and beautiful.
Were they beautiful or they were light-skinned?
Very beautiful. And I say this, I say beautiful because not even just the way they look, but because of their hearts. Like the kind of girls they were. We were 20. When I call someone beautiful, most times I'm not even talking about their face. I'm talking about the kind of person they are. So
personality.
We were around 21, 20 years old, 19. And these women, I used to see how they... Like me, I would never go anywhere without makeup. Hata tu kwa duka, ati niende kwa duka, watu wanione na my natural ugly face. Hell no. I used to wear a full face of makeup all the time. But when I'd come back, I'd see these light-skinned girls. I don't know why they were my friends in particular. I didn't go choosing light-skinned friends, but it just ended up that that's who they were. These women, I used to see how they embraced their beauty. They were so comfortable. Hata tukisema sijui twende wapi, yeye anajipaka tu Vaseline kwa lips na tunatoka. One time I had some girl akinisengenya akisema, "Robata, kwani lazima tuwapakange makeup kila sana, tunaenda tu kwa duka." And she didn't know where it was coming from, an insecurity that was put in my head years before. And I don't know what she thought, but me hearing her talk about it switched something in my head, and I actually asked myself, do I really need to wear makeup every time? Why am I so insecure with my natural features? This is exactly how I look, and I'm beautiful, and it didn't feel like that at that time, but now that's how it looks. So I say these women are the ones who taught me to love myself, because not only did I see how they loved themselves, but they used to lift me with them. Like you see in kuna hii kitu ya mkitembea so unajua mimi ndo dark skin natembea na madem light wako ni warembo, walikuwa nasemanga the ugly best friend. That's what they call.
Who was calling you?
People, boys, hata boys wakiwakatia wanakatianga mabeshte zako, alafu kuna kwanga na boy mmoja ako designated for the ugly best friend though, because the ugly best friend ndo anakuanga na anatrying kufanya boys wasiget to get pretty girls. Have you heard of this? You know what I'm talking about?
No, I haven't. Can you explain more about it?
So, tuko 3 girls. Wawili ni ma light skin, moja ni mimi. Si ndio? So, our madem light skin, hiyo ndo standard of beauty, especially in Kenya. If you're light, you're taken as, you're the beauty standard, you're beautiful.
Even if you don't have ass?
Even if you don't even need all
you
that.
Don't need that.
Walk around town
even if you don't have boobs?
Walk around town with a light-skinned person and see how people just turn even to look at you like
kama malaika.
Yeah. Na nani umesema sisi hatukai malaika?
That is their tag.
So
yeah.
You're walking like that. Boys when they are pangaing, wamewacheki from oh, that's Shiki. I know Shiki.
But that's why I'm asking them to wait, and they're not even waiting.
Yes, oh, you look so beautiful. It's okay. You know that to mention that.
Si wewe uongoje ama?
Mimi.
Si mngoje?
Mko
No. Just 10 minutes.
Where are you guys going?
10 minutes is fine.
10 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah, 10.
Yeah, 10 minutes we'll done.
Okay.
See, Ali, what time is it now? See, it's about 40 minutes.
50.
Yeah, it's time 10 minutes.
We are winding down.
Yeah.
So wanachukwanga chali mmoja wanakwambia wewe ndio utakatia ule ongongo. Ongongo sasa ni the ugly
I know
He
Ngongo.
knows that.
So they say the ugly girl is usually the bulldog of the group.
Yeah.
Like she's the one who's protective and angry. But you see why you end up taking that role of protectiveness?
Okay.
Is because you can see how men objectify light-skinned women.
Yeah.
They objectify all of us, but light-skinned women
The
are
ugly
taken
friend
to
is
be
the
a
smart
little...
one.
Yes,
Zola's
because
the smart
she
one.
can see
Yeah.
ako rada na hakati wangwi.
Yeah.
So anajua kenye wanaume wanafanya. The light-skinned girl is usually a bit naive and she's used to being showered with praises everywhere she goes. Everyone wants her. She gets the jobs. She gets the men. She gets the money. She
Everything.
gets... So that's what it looks like, and that's how it always was. But these friends of mine, never once did they make me feel like I was the odd one out, or I was the ongongo friend, or I was...
I would really love
me.
to see your picture as a young woman of 17 years.
I'm
Because
sure.
the things that you're saying here are very... I wonder
listen,
why they were
But every
doing...
girl has experienced being an ugly friend. People have
And
experienced.
if your
Yeah.
perception of me is that
Yeah.
I'm beautiful, and that's how I was treated,
Yeah.
so now imagine girls who are uglier than me. Because that's what happens. If you're perceiving me to be pretty, imagine girls who are not as good looking as you think I am. It's hell. So even when you sit here and complain, that discussion for broke men shouldn't date. Even you people treat us like that when we're ugly. So
That is pretty privileged.
It's a fair game.
It's pretty
I said I don't argue with men. I just listen.
Wait,
and
by the way, wait.
We will get there.
I don't argue. Yeah, but okay. So this conversation, you know, I guess where I'm sitting from, I want us to start winding down. But I guess the side I'm coming from is that women get exploited a lot for sports and for roles.
Yeah.
And I think we should shift the discussion from she's sleeping her way to the top to men are being predatory even in the workspace.
Yeah, everywhere.
Because, okay, it's a matter of life and death. I'm supposed to feed my kid. What do I do? What do I do? Kila mahali kila mtu amenikataa. Siwezi enda huku auditions hawatani choose. Siwezi enda huku kufanya huko hawatani kubali. Siwezi fanya. So what am I supposed to do? Sleep hungry because of the way I look?
Anyway, that is how I felt at a point in time. But then you must choose to see yourself. Sometimes when people don't see you, you must choose to see yourself. You know? Because you can't force people to see you.
True.
You can't force people to, you can't shove your ideas down people's throats, but you must know what's in it for you when you're associating with people. It is good to know. Kama ninaingiana na Jagero, tuandikane tujue rada ni gani. You know, let us be clear about what we are getting into. It is very important. But you can't force people to see you. You must see yourself. And then after seeing yourself, you carry through with your roles. There are platforms all over. You start from wherever you can without expecting from people. People don't have to see you because how...
They don't have to choose you.
Yeah, they don't have to choose you. They don't have to like you. They don't have to applaud you. But what do you do for yourself? That is what matters.
My last question.
Yeah.
Do you have any, looking at your life now versus how it was that you refused to sleep with men to get these jobs and these roles?
Yeah.
Do you have any regrets? Do you feel like, kama ningelala naye I'd have been a bigger star?
No.
Kama do you have any sort of feeling?
No. Actually, I'm grateful for all the buses that I've missed. I'm grateful for all of those experiences because even the doors that are closed, sometimes you're not meant to get into those spaces. So it is even better sometimes that you don't get in there. It is even better that those people are blocked from you so that you get to meet the people who are meant to go through that journey with you. Yeah. So if it's a no, just take it with a grain of salt, you know? And then you just look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, yeah, me and Lucy, you know? I can still be the best version of myself. And it does not take away from me. It does not take away from my gifts. It does not take away from my talents. And if I am not seen right now, a time will come, you know? Even if it's not right now, it might take years. But so long as you're honing in on your craft and you don't forget a time comes. Look at us today. I am here today. I'm so happy I'm seeing people I like, you know, and it's after so many years. I didn't even think I would have the courage to sit here with you guys today because I was also running from myself. I think I was... I'm Johnny Force. Nimerelax kwa sababu ni nyinyi. Juu bado nilikuwa na ile feeling ya kitambo imekam. The judgy eyes, you know, being picked apart, you know, what are they going to think about me? What are they going to say about me? Perhaps I might sit before those cameras and I'm going to sweat like nobody's business, you know. But then the jitters just went after we laughed there. I'm happy. But I don't feel bad about the closed doors. I feel this is time, you know. At any point in life, you can do your stuff.
I love that. Jags, what do you think about this whole conversation? What would you say to the men, especially, who are, you know, in this gatekeeping position?
I think men in life are very elusive gender.
True that.
How do you mean?
It's, you know, men don't sit down to discuss their problems or the problems that they create. It's very difficult for men to sit down and talk about them. Today I had a beautiful conversation with the two men that lost their wives at the hospital. One lost a twin to what they call negligence from the doctors. And it once in a while you see men break down. Once in a while you see men, you know, thinking clearly about something.
Yeah.
Without being very academic about it. I think men are very academic. Let's talk about...
Yeah, so matter of fact.
Yes, as a matter...
Does it make sense?
Yeah, as a matter of... It's very logical.
So mbona unaweka this one in the soda? Yeah. That's what they will be asking you. And but today I sat down with them and it was very interesting how a man can look at... Especially when this man was talking about the nitty-gritties of what happened, how the wife died. Took the wife to the hospital at 7 p.m. in the evening to give birth for C-section. He goes back at 10 the following day, and the wife is...
You can never leave your wife in the hospital alone. Doctors are... Not doctors, the hospitals are so negligent.
Yeah. And by the end of that day, the wife had died. Yeah. You know, so men. I am a man. I am part of men. You know, and our gender is just very elusive. I think from now on I want to use the word elusive. Elusive are people that you don't pin them down.
Yeah, they're slippery.
Yeah.
Very slippery.
Wachana na mambo ya wanawake. Sasa kinaliwa ngeniambia wachana na mambo ya wanawake upenda kuongea sana. Vitu za set sasa nini? Vitu za Mbona unaleta vitu za set kwa podcast? Wewe si tuongee mambo ya cancer ama kitu kingine. Yeah, so I think that is, but what I wanted to say is that my experience is that sometimes as human beings we like gravitating towards things that are already built. And things that are already built, like you get into somebody's production house.
Yeah.
You know, you get in there, they might use it to their own means. You know, it's like somebody having a production house is like somebody being wealthy in a way.
Yeah.
And he's using that to control people, and using that to get to his freakouts, you know, or achieve his fantasies. All right. So I think that sometimes I feel like we shouldn't force ourselves into walls that have already been built, and those walls sometimes just want to treat us badly. And so why not create our own walls? And especially in 2025, somebody shouldn't bother you with a production house. It is useless, actually, for somebody to tell you that I've got a production house, I'm going to give you heaven on earth. It's useless. I mean, there's the story of Red. The other day I was reading a beautiful story about Red, a company that makes one of the best cameras for doing films. Yeah. She knows about them. Yeah. You probably know about Red.
Yeah.
You do know about Red?
Yes. Yeah.
You know? So Red was one of those. There is Festus was telling me, a friend of mine, that there is only one Mzungu in Karen that used to own the Reds, and if you are planning to do a documentary, a proper documentary or a proper film or a proper movie in 6 months' time, you better start speaking to that Mzungu.
Yeah.
Because by the time you're shooting, those red cameras might be in South Africa. Okay? And those red cameras, you would hire together with the person using it. Like you can't hire the camera nipatie camera. Hii phone inakuja na mutu. Na huyo mutu ni yeye ameweka price ya huyo jamaa. And those red cameras, and then suddenly DSLR cameras started getting into the market. That camera, they used to sell it for about 70,000 USD. Yeah. That's like 10 million. One camera.
It was trending then.
Yeah, you see.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then DSLR started coming into the market. They started selling them for about $4,000, $5,000, $10,000. Yeah. And then other cameras came in. Yeah. Then this camera came in. The Black Magic. And then it democratized the space completely. Then now, Red was like, what the fuck is going on? And then the other day it was bought by Nikon. And then Nikon said they're going to democratize. And there was a camera they were actually selling for $7,000. They are now selling it for $2,999. Yeah. More than 50%. So I think that for us who are living in 2025, if everybody is having a fish rod, everybody is having a fish hook, everybody can go to the lake. So if you are a young person out there and is looking at somebody is telling you that you have to bed in order to do something with you, you start with what you have. Shoot what you have, create your own things, have your own TikTok account. By the way, that guy, right now he's at 150,000. The gentleman, that Solano that we're talking about. That time, that day he was at 123, but now he had 4 million views after the event.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Okay.
And I told him that you have to sell your books.
Yes.
He wrote a book in 3 days, and he's now selling it on TikTok.
Wow. That's interesting.
Okay.
You know? So I do not think that somebody should tell you. That is why KTN is dying. Because KTN were the gatekeepers. We're not going to talk about Citizen because she's an employee of Citizen. Nation is struggling. The other day I saw Fix the Nation having a big ass.
You'll get us in trouble.
The biggest, what is it called? The signpost that they put at junction, what is it called?
It's a billboard.
It's a billboard, yeah.
Billboard.
I saw it in Kisumu. I saw it in Kericho. Everywhere. And I'm saying, these guys are using millions to market a podcast.
Are they being paid millions?
No, they're padding money.
Yeah.
Hiyo pesa walipe hao mahost. Kwa sababu si tunajua NTV iko. Walipe hao mahost.
So that's all I can say, Bobbie.
Okay. Do you want to add anything as we finish? Maybe where we can find you on social media?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You can find me on Instagram. Najita Lucy Okal. Facebook pale najita Lucy Brenda Okal. TikTok bado sijakuwa serious sana, but hizo ndo platforms mnaweza nipata. I'm also a digital media artist. I do graphic design as well. So we can get to know each other in that line.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this conversation. I love, I keep saying sometimes conversations tuna have hapa, especially on Heartfelt. Yeah. It doesn't need to teach you anything. It doesn't need to be educative. As long as you leave the conversation feeling, oh wow, I've never thought about it like that. Yeah. Ama, I never even thought that was a thing. It starts to probe, you know, your internal monologue, and you start having a clearer and wider vision of even how you treat other people. Yeah. So thank you so much for joining me for this hour here on Heartfelt with Bobbie. And I would like to thank you guys consistently for your patronage, for watching us, for checking our stuff out, for sitting with us even through the hour, for coming to our event. It was such a success.
Beautiful.
It was so amazing. It was. You'll watch it. It will be out in a bit. So thank you so much for joining us. And I think that's it. Yeah.
Bye. Okay now.